Hi everybody, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's great to have you back again. My name's Chris Cook. I'm a level designer who's been working in the games industry for well over a decade now. Basically working on my own projects on the evening and weekends whenever I get any free time. This is that project. Still don't have a name for it yet. It's technically called Peasants at the minute, but yeah, that's a name in progress. And the idea is it's a city builder with kind of a spin, trying to make it, trying to build on like a USP to make it feel a bit different. And the idea behind this is the USP is that your villagers are no longer just a commodity or a resource, a number that is just there in the background and that builds up. Your villagers all have their own lives, their own needs, their own social interactions, their own traits, their own kind of personalities and stuff. And you've got to build a village around these, cater for them, look after them, make sure they don't misbehave, keep the ones that you want, try and encourage the people that you want to kind of marry off and share their stats and stuff. And so you can do stuff like, if you, it could be decisions that you have to make. So for example, if someone in your village has the traits that they are suddenly a misbehavior, maybe they're kind of like a thief, maybe they're a pickpocket, but they're your best blacksmith, you have to make a decision. Do you banish that person, but you lose your best blacksmith, or keep them about while everyone else is a bit miffed? These are all decisions that you've got to make, and there's plenty more decisions like that. But yeah, this past couple of weeks, I haven't really released a video for a while now. Firstly, apologies about that. I've just been quite busy with work and stuff, but I have spent a lot of time on this. I've got a lot of new features I want to show you. Some of them I'm really proud of. Some of them, so for example, the narrator, I actually spent some money on Fiverr and got this guy with this awesome accent, sounds just like Gandalf, to basically create some lines for me. And this guy, see if we can, so if I just cheesy build a house.
Building completed.
So you can hear how, he says basically what's happening. So if I change the season,
Autumn is upon us.
so you can see it's changing.
Spring has arrived.
I think it
It's
just
summertime.
really kind of like sells the game when you've got something like this. If it just feels a bit
Winter is here. It's summertime.
just feels, I don't know, a bit more like authentic and cool and stuff. So yeah, I got basically 150 words from him. I think it worked out to be about 30-40 lines, something like that. And yeah, I'm really proud of the results. I think it really actually helps with the game, just with the feel and stuff. So does that. I've been building some new buildings. Sorry. So we have this one here, which is the Archery range, and this is a social building. Just bring that to daytime. So yeah, social building, and the idea behind this is it's very similar to the tavern, where people can come here and engage in social activities, which is this archery range practice. People do that on their own, own will, own time, and it basically, if anyone else is here who's also doing that, they will engage in like social activities, which builds up their bonds, their relationship and stuff. Also increases their happiness as well. So another thing I've got as well is the orchard. So this is here, and this is basically a building which will produce fruit throughout the year as well. So at the minute you can't choose, it's just berries, it's not meant to be. But I want it later on so you can choose, apples, for example, pears, oranges, just kind of fruit, but the kind of fruit that you have. But you have to have the seeds available to be able to plant them, to grow them and stuff. So yeah, that's quite cool. When someone actually works there, I don't actually know why they're not working there at the minute. I don't know what he's doing. See if we can just grab someone else. Let's see if they'll come back there. Yeah, I don't know where they are. There's obviously a few little bugs in the game as well. That's just game dev, right? But yeah, anyway. So the idea with this one is that he collects the fruit. But this I've been exploring a little bit more as well with the animation system. So this one, when they come here, you'll see in some jobs they just basically stand there and just don't do much. While this one, they actually go between each tree and start digging at the ground, trying to pick up the fruit, whatever. And then here we've got the graveyard as well. So yeah, let me actually just start a new game. I can show you guys a little better. Yeah, obviously things just break after a while. So let's see. This graveyard here.
Building completed.
So it's quite big at the minute. Obviously I'm going to play about with like sizes and stuff later on, but this is just quickly. And what will happen here is basically when somebody dies, as long as you've got a graveyard, it will spawn a graveyard, so, a gravestone. So here's one I've just placed down, randomly at the start just to make sure it's working. But if I get this guy, for example, I think it's, yeah, so if I just kill this guy. Oops. This doesn't actually work at the minute, but it spawns a grave anyway. So imagine he dies. Now we have this grave here, which is here lies William, age 27, so it grabs his stats. Later on, it's actually
You are
going to
low on goods.
grab more of his information. So basically, you can click on it, and it'll give you an idea of like that past person, you know, who they were married to and stuff. Any children they had, any kind of stats they had and stuff. And I've been playing around with the idol system as well. Oh no, there we go. So we've now got this is new idol as well, so you can see here that it's actually paying respects. And this, I want this to actually give them like a little bonus when they do this as well, because obviously if they're paying respects, especially if that person is their spouse or whatever, the respect should be like, you know, the bonus should be a lot higher. But again, it's just another idol. So if you have a graveyard, every now again people will go off and pay their respects, and yeah, like I said, there should be some little bonus for that. So the farm as well. The farm is the staple building for any kind of medieval RTS city builder. So I've been
Completed.
trying to work on this a little bit more. So ignore the menus and stuff. So again, it's all just work in progress. But if we just assign these two people. So the farm now works over seasons. So the idea is that in spring, spring and summer, people will come and plant the field. Let's pick this gun. Daytime. So basically, they'll jump between each farmland spot and plant some seeds, and they'll do this while it is spring and summer. And then you'll see it starts to grow, and this will carry on growing all the way through. I've got it as well, so it basically changes speed on. Let's just put daytime again, so they carry on working. Sorry, they work within certain hours, you see. But yeah, so when it's foggy, it will grow less, and when it's raining, it'll grow at double speed. So you know, weather actually has like a bit of an impact on this as well. But then yeah, when it's autumn, they will actually harvest it, and harvesting is a lot quicker, but they'll go through and harvest as much as they can. But if winter hits before it's all harvested, then the wheat will actually die, and then you have to basically remove all the dead plants from the field before you can carry on if you're using it again. So you can see, this is all. So it's starting to grow, and then let's just change it to
Autumn is upon us.
And then you can see that they're actually removing it with big axes at the minute. This is just temporary, obviously. And what I've also done as well is I've actually been working on a new inventory system. So you can see here, if I click on inventory, you can see the bread, it's wheat, stacking up. And then when they've got a certain amount, they will go off and deposit and stuff. So before I was actually, for the inventory and stuff, I was kind of doing it manually for like buildings and people and the storage and stuff. And I was finding it quite cumbersome, and it was hard to get systems to work together, so I've refactored the inventory over everything, and it's all used as a single inventory system now. So I've actually built a component for that. So if I just found like BBC inventory. So you can see here, this component I can add to anything, like a building, settler. I've even got it on the animals as well to kind of like store their resources that they will give off when they die. And that's something else I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, you can see here in your inventory, you kind of got like all your simple stuff that you want to do. So remove resources from inventory, add resources, which has dispatchers. You can check the inventory for a resource and stuff. And all this stuff I was kind of doing before manually in each one. So this is just like all now. This is a single blueprint component that every actor can basically have on them. I've got functionality as well for like auto restock, so you can have, for example, if a building needs firewood, you can just so if I just, oops. So you can see here the building, inventory here. You can have so you can have a max number of items if you want to kind of maybe make it so people could only carry one item. And you've also got an auto restock where you can basically say, one close. And what this will do is every time this is less than this, it will just on a timer just keep spamming or checking the inventory just to see if there is room, if there is any close, and if there is, it'll take one and automatically add it to the inventory. So again, it just kind of really speeds stuff up and is a much better workflow than before. So something else I've been working on is requests as well. So part of this is what I've also been working on as well is the right click menu to begin with. So the right click menu originally had like an actions button on here and on here as well, but I found it quite awkward to see and do, and it wasn't like, had to be on like something that had a menu. Sorry, my throat's suddenly just gone a bit crazy. But this right click menu, I can basically, as the previous component you saw, add it onto anything in the level. So I can add it onto all these trees, for example, have a harvest now. And here I can basically just click harvest and it'll, grab that tree individually and set it to harvest. I can right click and upgrade the settlement. I can grab it on here and banish her. What I can do is it basically takes over all the stuff that was there before in the build menu. So for example, if I choose the chapel,
Building completed.
And then right click this, I can have the marry villagers option, which again was here before. And this is very similar to the inventory component. I have this right click component here, and in here I can just basically add a number of options in here. And then what that will do is when I right click something, it basically checks for these options, and if they're there, it'll just populate them to a list. And these can be added and removed at runtime as well. This option, this value variable, is saved as well. So throughout the course of the game, I can add to this and save it, and then next time I load it back up, they'll be there as well. So yeah, it's really powerful. And then in there, just when I basically press it, it just checks what it should be doing. But I want to change that to actually, when I click it, it loads up an object, and that object contains the data. Just gives me a bit more freedom with what I can do. But yeah, one of the bonuses or one of the benefits I've been able to do with that is actually introduce a whole new system, which is hunting. So first of all, we have animals now that actually spawn in biomes and stay in that biome as well. So for example, the cows, will stay in meadow biomes, which is basically when a biome has less than a certain amount of trees in it. If it's got more than a certain amount, it becomes forest, which is where boars spawn and other stuff like that. And then if there's more, some buildings in there, that actually becomes a village. But yeah, what I can do now is I can actually right click on this cow and I can click hunt. And then, so this will give a task to the villager, wherever she is. Is she in here? I think she's actually stuck. Again, just game dev stuff. There's so much stuff going on in the game at the minute that I am getting a few breakages, but it'll all be fixed at some point. Actually, let me just turn on the biomes and I can show you what that looks like. It's just so yeah, this is a really powerful system again, just because it allows me to keep track of the whole world, what's going on. So you can see here, we have all these biomes here, and you can see basically that when there's a certain amount of trees in this biome, it basically becomes a forest. If there's not a certain amount of trees, it becomes a meadow. When there's buildings in there, it becomes village. So if I just
building completed,
spam this. Right now it's on a timer. I'm going to change it afterwards to being like when something actually goes in there. But you can see here, so they're now a village. And what this also means as well is that this area becomes a village, which means that in idle, when she's just looking for somewhere to walk around the village, as the village organically expands, she will just find a place to idle around this village. So before I was actually just getting the buildings and just idling around them, but this actually allows me to kind of just find random spots anywhere in the village. But yeah, this can be fed into a lot of systems as well. So it can be fed into like, where does certain stuff spawn, where can certain stuff be found. And in this case, so what happens with these animals is they spawn in their biome of their choice, and they will only move inside their biome as well. So they will move just within the meadows, for example. So you won't find cows hiding in the forest. Cool. So she's actually, this is hunting I've been working on. And the idea behind this is, as with all my tasks and jobs and stuff, I want it to be that when a villager doesn't know how to do that task, has like a level 0 job, basically. So in this case, hunter, they are very rubbish at it. So you can see she's actually, she's getting better at hunting, but it's going to take a while. And until they get to that kind of like level 1 state, they are pretty terrible at whatever job they do. So in this case, she's a hunter, and the stat basically means how fast it flies, how accurate it flies, the spear, and how close they can get without being spotted. So as she's like level, I think was she level 1 or was she level? She's under tree. Yeah, level 0. So she's going to be pretty useless. So after a while, she will hit it. But she's constantly getting their experience is going up the more she's doing it. And if you see like a level 5 hunter, it's like pinpoint bullet accuracy, super fast. But yeah, here we go. So now that she's killed the animal, it's actually there and it's dropped its supplies. So she can keep interacting with this until she gets all the supplies. That's what she'll do. So she'll stay there for a while, grab the supplies, and hunter also increases the speed at which you can get the supplies as well. And then I guess like I said, I've been changing lots of stuff, so things are breaking at the minute. So what she should be doing is then taking those resources back, dropping them off, and then coming back and stuff. But yeah, obviously there's a bit of a breakage there as well. That's fine. Cool. Another thing I've been doing is the events. So this, I'm actually really proud of how this has gone. I think this might also have kind of degraded as well, because I made this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I've changed a lot of stuff since then. So we'll see if this still works. But events are basically something that you can trigger in the village, which will override all that kind of villager behavior and be some kind of special event. So for example, the archery range, let's just turn these on. So just put over here.
Building completed.
You can see here, archery range host archery contest. So you press that and then it'll cost you some money and stuff, but then everybody will come around with a big archery contest. But if we just create a chapel.
Building completed.
And just spawn a few people. I've got a video when this does work, so if this doesn't, we will play the video. But yeah, so basically grab this woman, grab this guy.
Your villagers are in love. You are low on goods.
So in here, right click, we now have the marry villagers option here.
You are out of goods.
So we choose these two, Rowan and Joffrey, marry them. And you can see all of a sudden we have this event that plays out, and it basically takes over everybody. So they've all got this event which kind of like overacts their current behaviour. The 2 people who got married, and everyone here, they basically get like a bonus for this. So right now they're just kind of stationary. I do want to add more stuff later on, more stuff going on. But if we just speed it up so the event plays, you can see here, his happiness modifier is he just got married. So that one actually lasts for like 6 months, I think, but it's huge on that one. So if you find someone's really depressed or close to leaving and they want to get married, you can choose to get them married, but it costs money. But while the other people, like you saw, a villager just got married, so that's a 5 bonus instead of a 25 bonus, and that only lasts for a month as well. But it's a really good way to kind of spread that happiness throughout their village. But yeah, with the events I want to do loads more. I want to have like these kind of like village greens that you can host like events on and stuff. I want the tavern where you can host like, certain nights, theatres and stuff where you can host shows. But yeah, it's good. Each one will cost a certain amount, probably cost resources as well to actually trigger. For example, with the church as well, you really need I haven't got it here at the minute, but you might have a priest who's over a certain level before they can do it. So with the church as well.
Building completed.
This one actually has mass as well. But again, that I want it to be like, you need to have a priest at like level 5 or whatever, and then you get these options. So it just means that like as you go up and up and up with your villagers and get better and better, you'll have more and more options to do stuff. Cool. Yeah, another thing I was meant to show you before, but I forgot, was actually this. So this stuff.
Building completed.
Hopefully this will work as well. So now, we had these chicken farms before. Originally they just spawned with just random chickens, and we just always output a certain amount of food. So if we just assign that to this, so what this should do now at the minute is just set the time again. So production is 1. It's actually meant to be 0, so there's a little bug there, but it should be 0 because there's no chickens. And then we can do here is these chickens. You see, you've got an extra option here. This would have been grayed out if I didn't have a chicken coop. And click gather the chicken, and then somebody, hopefully, looks like she might be doing it. No. I hope this is going to work. Okay. So yeah, looks like something's gone wrong there as well. I got a video of this as well, so that's fine. There's a lot of stuff just breaking at the minute. But she would grab that chicken, basically, and she would take it here, and a chicken would spawn there, and it would increase like the amount of food that can produce. So this area would actually get more chickens in, the production rate would go up, you would have more food outgoing as well, which is really cool because that again just makes the player just kind of like scout the map looking for stuff, the resources to interact with. I really like that, just kind of like going around and like just clicking on stuff. Can I use this on a certain thing? Maybe this only has harvest for now, but later on you get another building or another option. When you right click a tree, it has like another option here which is unlocked the more you play. Cool. Yeah, so there's that. Showing you the biomes, the animals spawning as well. Sorry, he's looking at my list, there's a lot of stuff. The inventory. Yeah, settler brains as well I've been working on, so if we... So the brain is actually something I've just started working on, but the concept is I want villagers to actually have, in their head they have a list of stuff to do. I originally started to use the behavior tree, but it really, when there's a lot of stuff to pick from, it really becomes bottlenecked by what you can see. So the idea behind the brain is that it handles like requests. So for example, just check every now and again for like different requests. If they aren't living with their spouse, for example, then I will add the request on that I want to live with my spouse. So that basically means that husband and wife are living together, or the parents not living with their children, and it'll add this request on saying I want to live with my family basically, and the happiness will drop until you've done that. But yeah, then with the AI, the idle checker as well. So this will kind of give the world a bit more of a real feeling, like I feel like it's alive. So for example, here you have your idle choices. And what this will do is this will add up based on the more buildings and stuff you have available. So for example, if you have a church, it'll add like the prayer in there. If you've got the tavern, it'll do the recover stat. When it's winter, it'll build a snowman. Sorry, the recording stopped then, my bad. Must have pressed the button. Sorry, I was just saying with the requests, the biomes actually helped with that. So one of the, not the requests, the idols that I have is build a snowman. So now we can actually do it. So
winter is here.
So what this will do is winter is triggered, and it's going to add that idol into the list now. The idol is build a snowman. And what that will do is when the behavior tree goes into the idle mode, it'll inject a random behavior tree in there, a dynamic behavior tree. One of those is build snowman. So you can see here, this guy now is building a snowman, and he uses the biomes to find out where he should do it. So he doesn't go to like some random place. He stays within the village, and he will find a spot within that village and build a snowman. So there you go. You can see now you've got a snowman, and that just lasts for a while, like a month or so, I think. But it's quite cool, you know. In winter you get this, like, you see these appearing, and I want to do different ones in like spring and summer as well, and I think it's quite cool. And like pick flowers and stuff, you know, especially if they have like a spouse, pick flowers and take it to your spouse. It's just something that really makes the world just feel alive. Yeah, and I think it just makes a
Spring has arrived.
Huge difference. Cool. That's what I got. Yeah, working on the UI a little bit more as well. So one of the things I've got is when you level up, now shows you here, you know, you've leveled up to, you know, whatever level, whatever job as well. And this really helps. I want to try and make like a really big thing out of these job levels. So yeah, this is really I'm trying to think of if I should put a sound of it as well, but yeah, I haven't really been able to find one yet. And then yeah, stats as well. I've been trying to, stats was something that I added in early on, but it was just there, never really did anything. So now the typical kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, you know, RPG stats are in here. So you have strength, which is used for labor-intensive jobs. Also helps when you're doing stuff like cutting trees down. So, you know, for example, ignore that. This guy, this guy has a really low stat of strength, basically 0. In fact, it is 0. So when he's cutting down trees, he only does a base of 10 damage to that tree. So this person who's got 4, so if we ask her to cut down a tree, so her should be 18. So basically it's double their strength, which means that, you know, someone who's got 10 strength, for example, they're doing like 30 damage, or 30 damage basically, per turn on a tree. So we'll bring down a tree 3 times faster. Same when they're mining for like resources and stuff, it'll be triple the speed. So yeah, it really makes a big difference, that. And then you've got stuff like charisma. That's going to be used for people like bartenders, landlords, stuff like that. Anything that kind of like facilitates a social job. Intelligence will be used for the skilled jobs, so stuff like schools. Constitution is used for, so currently it's actually used for farming and stuff, but decided it kind of it's blended a little bit too much with the other ones. So Constitution is actually going to be used for medical jobs. So at some point I'm going to have stuff like a healer in here and a doctor and stuff. So that'll actually be used for them. And then leadership. So later on, like when you actually get to like town status and stuff, I'd like clerk. What was the one I was gonna have? But like a mayor and stuff. Stuff that will actually kind of impact the jobs, impact the town. And that unlocks like policies and other stuff for the town, so you can change stuff like the tax rate and all that kind of stuff. But that's a lot, you know. This is kind of what it's going to be one of the stats that is least useful. In fact, it probably goes in order of how useful they are. So strength is obviously one of the first things you look for because it helps you build stuff, helps you with most of your like early manual labor jobs, helps you with your tasks. Straight down to like leadership, which is, you know, you're probably not going to use it until you get to kind of like village, and then you can start getting some buildings actually take use of it. But you still, you know, if you get someone who's got high leadership at the beginning, you know, you want to try and keep them around because you don't want to lose them when the village is actually starting to get to a point where you want to use them. Cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long, but yeah, like I said, spent a lot of time on this building stuff out. Unfortunately, because I'm jumping between systems at the minute, all the systems are there functionally, like, you know, 80% of the way there, but they're all degrading a little bit because when I change one, because it's interlinked with the other one, it kind of just, you know, sometimes breaks. So a lot of these systems, like, you know, what you were seeing, like this was working yesterday. Fortunately, it's not working today, but I just wanted to get a video out to get you guys aware of what's there. I've actually recorded some videos in the past, so, you know, as I've been playing this, I'll have played those alongside them so you can actually see them. But yeah, the game's coming along quite well. I'm actually quite proud of the progress. Looking forward to actually getting a demo out in the next couple of months. Sorry, again, work's just really got in the way. But yeah, I'll definitely get something out to you guys soon. Again, I've got Discord channel where you can jump in. If you can like and subscribe, that would really be helpful to me as well. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to see anything in the future iterations of the video. But yeah, brilliant. Awesome. Cheers, guys. See you around.